the underwhelming reactions it produces, as well as the resonance buff received when 2 or more of the same element are within a party. At present, one of the only viable comps is using Cryo and Electro to create a superconduct reaction. And that's assuming that you have a main DPS dealing physical damage, such as Eula. However, during Genshin Impact's beta test, players soon realized that Ball had great synergy with another Electro character, Beta. The latter has a high energy cost for their elemental burst, something that Ball excels in providing. At the time of the beta test, both characters' elemental bursts worked with one another, meaning more possible team comps for players to use. But this detail was changed prior to the game's release, and it's no longer possible to activate Beto's ability while in Ball's Q mode. MiHoYo faced plenty of backlash for this decision for allegedly releasing a character not working as advertised. But since this knowledge came from leaked footage of the beta, played by people who beforehand signed a non-disclosure agreement, MiHoYo technically didn't lie in its advertising. Now, if that was the whole story, I'd be more inclined to side with MiHoYo on this matter. However, when you look at Ball's C6 constellation description, it classifies the moves used when in her ult as normal, charged, and plunging attacks. According to Beto's elemental burst description, her abilities are triggered when normal or charged attacks hit an opponent. Therefore, Ball should be capable of triggering Beto's lightning discharge when in the Muso Ishin state. Ball's C6 description was abruptly changed following these issues. In one of MiHoYo's posts, they stated that while Ball's attacks are classified as normal attacks, the damage type dealt is elemental burst damage. That would also mean that the trigger for Beto's ability isn't the hit, but damage type dealt. However, when used against an enemy that takes no damage, such as a shielded Abyss Mage, Beto's lightning discharge still activates. So as far as I know, the actual reason behind why Ball doesn't work with Beto isn't made clear. Though as said previously, I'm a noob when it comes to Genshin Impact's mechanics, so feel free to correct me in the comments section. Even if this description was an honest mistake on MiHoYo's part, it doesn't change the fact that many people spent money on this character for the sole purpose of pairing them with Beto. It's even worse for people who chose to go for her C6, since we're talking about thousands of dollars worth of Genesis crystals. At this point, I'm not sure why they can't just fix this so that the two work together, especially since Electro is one of the weaker elements of Genshin Impact. It would be really scummy if this change was intended for the sake of pushing the sales of future Electro characters who will just so happen to have perfect synergy with Ball, such as Ye. But that's pure speculation, and I don't want to go around throwing accusations at MiHoYo until we get more information. The last topic I want to bring up in regards to problems with the game is Inazuma. In my opinion, the region itself was awesome. There are a lot of quests that have lasting impacts on the world, something that both Mondstadt and Leo lacked. I remember finishing the main quest in Dragonspine, expecting the reward to be something like the removal of the sheer cold effect, making exploration easier. That's why I can appreciate what they did with Inazuma's quest. Most of my criticism lies within this region's Archon quest. While it's not as bad as people are making it out to be, the overall story felt rushed, as if the developers planned to do more with it, but limited it to the standard length of Archon chapters. These are only some of the issues players are faced with. It doesn't include other things such as game-breaking bugs, lack of quality of life features, and the horrid artifact RNG system, something I plan to make a whole video on. But if there's one overarching problem to take away from all this, a problem that's the cause of many of the game's issues, it's the lack of communication. It feels as if MiHoYo isn't listening to the common complaints, instead pretends that there are no issues to begin with. Yet they are quick to respond to bugs such as Kokomi's infinite water walking. The sad part about this is that they choose to patch out the glitches that arguably improve the player's experience, while also ignoring bugs that, unless fixed, ruin the player's experience. Their priorities are completely messed up, and what's sad about it is, if Kokomi had a passive allowing her to walk on water at all times, she would suddenly be a wanted character. What she lacked in combat would be made up for in exploration, and before you say it would break the game, we already have things such as Kaya's Ice Bridge and Ayaka's Sprint. And remember that bit with MiHoYo's explanation of how Ball's life works? Not once did they mention Beta, and that was the main reason players complained about her C6 task. Well, that was a lot to cover. We haven't even gotten into the anniversary rewards yet. I do apologize for that, but it was necessary since criticism of miHoYo started long before the anniversary. That was just the straw that broke the camel's back. Now that we know the events leading up to the 1-year anniversary of Genshin Impact, it's time to discuss the game's rewards, or to be more specific, the lack of rewards. Prior to the game's anniversary, the internet was flooded with speculation on what miHoYo's plans were and how it would affect Genshin Impact as a whole. Some expected a free character similar to the Lantern Rite event, while others kept their expectations low. And even those people weren't prepared for the disaster that was the Genshin Impact anniversary. The first news arrived on September 20th, with an official post by miHoYo. It addresses the upcoming anniversary of the game while giving players a brief look at the rewards. Now, at first glance, this looks like a lot, but let's break each one down. Of all the events listed, only one has guaranteed rewards, specifically the Unforgettable Journey, where the player is given Primogems for watching a short video of their journey through Teyvat. The second web event listed, A Message in Time, requires players to create their own anniversary cards for the chance to receive the blessing of the welcome pass. Honestly, this is a very good reward since the player will get an additional 90 Primogems per day for 30 days. If we include the initial gift of 300 Genesis Crystals, that's a total of 3,000 Primogems in 1 month. But remember that this isn't a guaranteed reward. Players have a 10% chance to actually win this. The other 90% of players instead get 100,000 Mora. Now, that might sound like a lot to some people, but trust me, it isn't. Things get even worse with the last 4 quote-unquote events. In reality, these are not events. They are competitions. The rewards shown are only given to a handful of players. The Recording Your Anniversary memories and Let's Solve word puzzles give a measly 100 Primogems to 1,000 winners. You know, of the millions of players the game has. Meanwhile, the prizes for the art repost raffle and cosplay submission include expensive items such as an iPhone 13 Pro Max and Apple AirPods. You know, in a game played by millions of people, miHoYo is essentially rewarding players by telling them to shamelessly advertise their game for the chance to get something. It's literally gacha prizes for the 1-year anniversary of a gacha game. And the worst part is, most of these prizes aren't even worth it. The only one worth going for is the Welcome Moon Pass, and that's assuming you beat the 1 in 10 odds. And miHoYo doesn't seem to be aware of how expensive cosplaying can be, especially if someone is trying to win a contest. Let's just say that someone does win. Chances are that it would have cost more money to make the outfit than it would have to just, purchase a pair of Apple AirPods. What's even worse about these raffles are the small amount of Primogems you have almost no chance of actually winning. It costs 160 to do a single pull in Genshin Impact. So you're not even getting enough to do a wish. 1 day of the Welcome Pass almost gives you the same amount, and that goes on for 30 days and is considered the best purchase for a low spender. If that's not bad enough, then think about this. Whenever the servers go down for maintenance, players are given an average of 300 Primogems as a form of compensation. You are getting more Primogems here compared to the rewards of the game's 1-year anniversary. miHoYo's way of thinking the players is essentially demanding free promotion for the chance to win mediocre rewards, or ones that people have no chance of winning whatsoever. And while I did enjoy the anniversary theater as there was some sentimental value to it, remember when I told you the reward for watching it was some Primogems? You get a grand total of 40 for doing this. Thanks, miHoYo. By far the best anniversary reward is the in-game Passage of Clouds and Stars event, where logging in daily for a week gives you a total of 80,000 Mora, 18 Mystic Enhancement Ore, 8 Hero's Wit, and 10 Intertwined Fates. Each Intertwined Fate allows you to do 1 wish on the character or weapon banner, so that's the equivalent of 1,600 Primogems. Except, there's one problem. This is a direct copy and paste of the Lantern Rite event, an event that not only gave you this, but also allowed players to choose any of the shown 4-star characters for free. And let me tell you, some of these 4 stars are really good. Now, for the sake of fairness, I do want to point out that the Lantern Rite is based on real-world Chinese New Year, one of the most important holidays in China, but when you're talking about the 1-year anniversary of a game, you'd expect the rewards to be at least as good as past ones. In my opinion, miHoYo should have at least given 40 to 50 wishes worth of fates, along with a choice of any 4-star character. Best case scenario, they let players either choose from one of the standard 5-star characters or get 40 to 50 wishes. It's not that difficult to get a 5-star character, since completing the story quests and keeping up with the events should get you enough wishes to reach pity at least once. The hard part in doing this, especially if you're free to play, is 1. Getting a 5-star character you wanted, and 2. In late game, it's much more challenging to get Primogems, and the only method to do so comes from daily commissions, events, Spiral Abyss, or spending money. Sure, you may have finally gotten a 5-star, but most of your Primogems are now gone. Giving players the chance to get a standard 5-star character of their choice, characters that are always available, is very fair in my opinion. Plus, most characters people want are the ones on the character event banner, and if someone's smart enough to know that it's better to use Primogems on the character event banner, most standard 5-stars they get will be accidents. That also means that someone who already has all the standard 5-star characters could instead get 40 to 50 wishes that they could then save for a later date. miHoYo is so obsessed with free advertisement for the game, but this would be the perfect way to draw in new players. But the fact that they don't even let you choose from the pool of 4 stars is beyond disappointing. This brings us to the second part of this compelling arc: the community's response. Salt and betrayal, and lots of Chi-Chi fallen. Following miHoYo's anniversary post, the company received heavy but deserved backlash. Most people were unhappy with the lack of rewards, and Genshin Impact soon became a widespread topic among the internet. Seeing everyone's frustration was understandable given the situation, and while there definitely were those who set their expectations too high, the fact that even people who didn't expect much to begin with were disappointed shows just how out of touch miHoYo is with their fans. Even if you think wanting a free 5-star is too greedy or entitled, the fact that players can't even choose from a selection of 4 stars makes it even worse. Chances are that most watching this video already know of the review bombing incident.